I mean, good God, son. Jacob Fatu Elite Series 125. They still have not upgraded the arms and shoulders, but we may still have a decent little Jacob Fatu figure right here. I'm not entirely sure, man. We're going to unbox him here today. We did get both of these figures from Ringside Collectibles, man. If you want to go over there, grab some figures. You can use code MD Toys to save yourselves 10%. I don't think this figure really looks like Giulia, man. I was really excited for this figure, but I still think there's some good redeeming qualities of this figure, which we're going to unpack in this video, talk about a little bit and get into it. But Jacob Fatu and Giulia going on here, man. I think that we have two decent figures here. I don't think they're perfect by any stretch, but today we're going to find out what they're about, crack them open, and see if they are indeed worth a shish. But again, man, if you want to grab them, go over to Ringside Collectibles. Jacob Fatu here. Nice shot of him here. I do think this is an upgrade from his Elite 118, so I think that's really all you can ask for, but this looks pretty good. Royal Rumble 2025, rest of the figures in the wave. We did take a look at Cody Rhodes and Stephanie Vaquer yesterday, which was pretty epic. You guys want to go check that video out. But here's Giulia. I'm just not seeing it, man. I'm just not seeing it. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, man. Stephanie Vaquer didn't really look like Stephanie Vaquer. Now I feel like Giulia doesn't really look like Giulia. But regardless, I just sit here and I give you the information, man. Do with it what you will. But let's crack these figures out of the packaging and find out what Jacob Fatu and Giulia from Elite Series 125 are all about. So here is Jacob Fatu and Giulia out of the packaging, man. I'm not going to do it the traditional way we do it, where we break it down by accessories, figure, all that stuff. I'm just going to bring up one figure, showcase it in kind of a all-entirety type way and everything like that, because it's hard to justify everything with photography and everything if it's going to run me 5 hours of editing, if that makes sense. Well, we're still going to break the figure down and get into it. I don't know, man. Barring some different things here on this Jacob Fatu, I don't hate it. And then on the Giulia figure, it's similar to that heel John Cena figure. There's some things I love and some things I do not like. So let's break it all down. So here is Jacob Fatu, man, and on this head sculpt, I do believe this was one of the Ultimate Edition head sculpts, but I think the hair's been retooled, I believe, off the top of my dome. We'll take a closer look at the Ultimate here in a minute, and I'll take a look at it, but I think this is slightly retooled hair. It may just be one of the Ultimate head sculpts, but I do like the eyebrows. I like the likeness. I think it does look like the character. I like the dry brushing red on there. Maybe could get a bit better down here with consistency, but not bad. I like the sculpt of it and everything like that. We do get the red Solo Wolf sort of deal here on the shirt, which I do like. I like this shirt. I think the red shirt looks good and it fits well and everything like that. And I am going to remove this, but this is one of the accessories you get on the figure is you do get the cloth goods shirt, which I do like, and he's still rocking that same unique torso. I don't think it's a torso issue with Jacob Fatu, man. I think we're really looking at a shoulder and arm issue where I'm just going to showcase it again so you guys can see. This guy does not have small shoulders and arms, brother. He just doesn't. He just doesn't. These arms are used on legitimately everybody. It's everybody, son. Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, Cody Rhodes, Shawn Michaels, Eddie Guerrero, Austin Theory, Dominic Mysterio, Chad Gable, Solo Sikoa, The Miz, Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, Grayson Waller, Logan Paul, Ludwig Kaiser, Julius Creed, Randy Orton, Damian Priest, Montez Ford, Pete Dunne, Chris Sabin, Rob Van Dam, up until recently, Stone Cold Steve Austin. So I'm just saying, we need different arm molds, man. And I know they exist, because on Gunther, they even give him the striated shoulders and arms, which I think would do wonders for Jacob Fatu's figures, just giving him those style. And I would prefer his own unique mold, like bigger, fatter arms. And, you know, we do have the Bronson Reed arms, which I think are just essentially Brock Lesnar arms and shoulders, which would probably upgrade him too. I'm just trying to think of a solution, because I think it would really help his figures. I also think his legs are too small too. I think that he could benefit from thicker thighs and things like that. So, I don't know, man. I think that could be so much better and more improved. But getting into the rest of the Jacob Fatu, he does have the elbow pad painted on. He's got the tattoo underneath, which is a nice detail, wrist tape on there. I'm interested to know when the sculpted stuff will come in, like we see with CM Punk and stuff like that. But you get the bicep band, the elbow band, another tattoo right there. And I like these hands he comes with. He also comes with these kind of entrance grabby hands. And then he also comes with a pair of mic holding hands. No fists or anything, but, you know, we've seen this story before. And then then he does have his red and black attire, got that kind of tribal pattern on this side, which I do like, and then you got Fatu on this side, which I do like as well. That looks pretty clean. He is pinless. Yeah, I just think his legs, man, his legs could be upgraded as well. I just think he needs a full formula revamp, man, and then, you know, you go into the boots. I like the, you know, the red boots. I think the Sting boots would have been cool, but they're giving him the Cody Rhodes Elite boots, so you get the giant clown feet, the black down here, you got the painted on straps. I just don't know, man. I just don't know. These figures, man, they could be so much better than they are, and when they get it right, damn, they get it right. But there's Jacob Fatu. Let's get into some Jacob Fatu figure comparisons. Actually, no, we got to check out the articulation of this bish. And as far as articulation, he can't really look down. I'm still waiting to get the damn Bray Wyatt, man. Nobody's really told me how that figure poses around. Like, nothing's talked about with the neck or anything. And, you know, it was talked about how he apparently had a new neck joint, but I haven't seen nothing on that. If you have that figure or whatever, you get a little bit of pivoting right there, but ab crunch is non-existent, really. You can go back that far. Shoulders go right at 90, you get the full rotation, bicep cut, double jointed pinless elbows right there. You get the hinge and the swivel in the wrist. Solid waist. He is on ball joints. He can actually kick up quite nicely. No drop down hip or anything, but goes out to the side that far. Upper thigh cut, and then you get the double jointed pinless knee that is pretty stiff on Jacob Fatu. And then you do get the boot swivel, the feet go up and down, and then you have the crazy ankle pivot. I definitively hate pinless legs with the Cody Rhodes boot mold. I'm pretty sure these are Cody Rhodes legs too. Pretty sure these are Cody Rhodes legs and boots. Can't stand them. They're just so stiff. It's not organic. It looks very weird. They get so loose, and yeah, just don't like that, man. Don't like that. But let's get into some other... And it sucks because I love Jacob Fatu, man. And I think that while his figures are usable and such, I just think that they could just be so much better. You know what I mean? And I don't know, standing back, it doesn't look bad. Let's just get into the comparisons and shut the hell up. And then for our Jacob Fatu figure comparisons, here's the new Elite 125 up next to the Elite 118 and the Ultimate Edition. And what's crazy is the Ultimate actually is scaled down, which is not very common. You don't see that usually with this, but you know, it's just a change of attire. You get a change of head sculpt and everything. I mean, it's a repaint, essentially, at the end of the day. But yeah, I do like this figure over the other just because I like the gear more and stuff. And I think that, I don't know, I just like this one better than the last one. So that may be something you want to look into. But yeah, Ultimate Edition still has small shoulders and arms. And I wish they would just give him the Ultimate boots because the feet are smaller and everything. You don't get ankle pivot, so that's kind of a different scenario. But let's bring in the MLW figure, which I think was also very damn good, which is low-key probably still the best Jacob Fatu action figure ever made to date is the, I think it's the MLW, and it's this one, and this figure has crazy posability. Very buttery smooth. It has a cool ab crunch in there. It's got bigger arms, as you can tell. Yeah, I like this figure, man. It's a damn good figure. I know, obviously, it's a throwback. It's probably not as toyetic as it would be, but I still like this figure, I think. I still think this is the best Jacob Fatu that's ever been made. But yeah, you do have these picks if you like that, and do with that what you will. These head sculpts are better for sure, and these are better in some ways. I just think that if you chalked it up mano-y-mano, I think this one is probably the best of all of them. So now we're getting into Giulia, man, and I just don't really see Giulia in here. I don't know, the expression is a little odd. I do like the freckles, I think, is what those are on her cheeks right there, which I do like, and that is cool, and it was cool to be there at Comic-Con when they presented her with her prototype and stuff like that. That was very awesome. I just don't see Giulia when I look at this head sculpt, and that's pretty upsetting to me, but I do like this hair, man. Look at this ombre hair. It's kind of light violet, pinkish purple, and then it fades into the purple and the pink and the blue. There's a lot of really cool things going on there. I just don't think the likeness is quite there for me, but you do get the choker underneath right there of the gear. Got this gold top. This figure is insanely sculpted. Insanely sculpted, man. So props to the designers here for this one, man. You do get pin joints, but you can't even see them, and I don't really care if they're pinned or not, honestly, if the figure's good. But I'm going to try to get all this detail in here. You can see the sleeves sculpted right there. You get EO Sky hands, which isn't the biggest deal. You can see there it's kind of an expressive hand, and you can see the skin tone peg. Not the biggest deal. It's just something to note. You do have the other sleeve here. The attention to detail here is crazy when it gets into the gear, man. Like all these patterns and sculpts. And this waist wrap does come off, but I wanted to show it off. You can see all the different cheetah prints and the zebra prints and all these stripes and everything, but you can take this off. You even got the sculpts underneath here. Oh, wait, is that not supposed to come off? Whoa, 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 hold up. I guess it's not supposed to come off. What the hell is even that? Okay, so it's not supposed to come off. I thought it was supposed to come off because it unclasped, but okay, maybe my glue came undone there, but that goes in there and then clasps into the hole. It was weird because when I was posing the figure around earlier, the waist swivel worked really well. I guess it's glued and ported in right there. Okay, so I won't mess with that, but yeah, you can see it's unpainted on the back. So yeah, it's definitely supposed to stay on there. I guess mine just came undone, so that's kind of bummy, but not the biggest deal of all time. I might rip that off and make it removable or something and paint up the gear. I don't know. Regardless, if you get here, man, look at this. All of this is custom, not custom, but one-of-one sculpt. So you have the chain and everything here. This is sculpted onto the upper thigh. Down into the knee right here is all sculpted. The knee pads are separate. And then even the lower legs have this fur that is sculpted in here, man. Look at the amount of detail you're getting on this Giulia. I mean, it's actually incredible the amount of stuff that they packed in here. I mean, just the paint and everything. I think the budget for this figure, or this line, this series, went all into the Giulia because it is so much. I mean, they put so much in here, man. And the pins are still there again. Don't really care about that, but that is insane, the amount of sculpts in here. I mean, even these little buttons here on the thigh are sculpted. All this is sculpted. You can see all the paint in there. And then she does have kind of traditional wrestling boots in this maroon color, which is pretty cool, but I think for me, you know, the figure's damn good from the neck down, and I mean, you could, I think it's, I think we have a Butterface situation. Everything's great Butterface, because I think the hair's great. I just don't like the lightness. I don't know, the lightness isn't there for me for Giulia, but the figure is still pretty damn good. I mean, my waist wrap is literally falling off right here. I don't know what to do about that. I'm going to have to super glue that back together because it's not going to stay, but as far as articulation, you know, she can swivel here. You don't really get much head movement, but shoulders are very articulated, double jointed arms, which are articulated. You're getting all your traditional cuts here. It's just the diaphragm on these women's figures is not great. It can bend back decent, but, you know, the ab crunch isn't great. You do get waist swivel, and it kicks forward pretty decent there. A little less than 90, a little less than 90 out there. Upper thigh cut. Double jointed knee that is pretty posable. Double jointed knee gets right at 90, I'd say. And then you do get the boot cut. They go up and down, and you have ankle pivots. So, pretty posable, all things considered, especially with this waist wrap. Now, again, I know the waist wrap's kind of fallen off of her, but I still think that the figure, again, is pretty damn good, except for the likeness. But let's get into some Giulia figure comparisons here. Now, for your Giulia figure comparisons, she is 5'8". I don't know the heights of the rest of these women, so I do not know exactly how she's scaling here off the top of my dome, but here she is next to Lyra Valkyria. We have the Ultimate Edition Asuka, we got Kairi Sane, we got Io Sky, and I like the way that the figure looks amongst these. I love how all of them kind of have their own unique sculpts and gears, which I think is very big for the women's figures, and dude, if you compare these women's figures to, you know, 10 years ago in 2016, God almighty, they have improved so much, and it's so nice to see, you know, regardless of what you think about different things, the details here on these and everything like that are incredible, and the figure, the details are just insane on this Giulia figure. I just wish the likeness was better, man. I don't like the likeness, which, you know, I also forgot to mention she does come with this mask. So you do get this mask. So I guess, you know, this could easily improve it, you know, if you don't like the likeness or whatever, you can put the mask over there and then it's like, hey, that, you know, maybe that does it better for you. Just have the eyes poking through, but the hair on this is crazy, man. There's just so much packed in there. The paint detail and everything, I just, again, wish it looked more like the character. But there we have Giulia's figure comparisons for you. And actually, you know what? Let's bring in some more characters. And then for some other comparisons, here's Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, and Bianca Belair, if you just want to take a look at those. And I want to say Rhea Ripley's 5'7". I know she has her wrestling boots on right here, but I think Rhea Ripley may hover around the same height as Giulia, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe I'm wrong on that. Let me know if I'm wrong on that. But that does it for your Giulia figure comparisons. But anyways, man, that pretty much wraps up this review of Elite 125 Jacob Fatu and Giulia. I don't really know, man. I think that, let's just run down the pros and cons of each. This Jacob Fatu, you're basically getting the Elite 118 with an upgraded head sculpt attire, and maybe that's pretty much it. I think that this is an upgrade. You know, if you like that Crazed Eyes head sculpt, maybe the Elite 118 is the way to go, but it just has those same issues. I still think those shoulders and arms are just not good enough. I think they're too small. I think his whole formula needs a revamp. I just would try to use existing parts and try to revamp him totally. And then Giulia, fantastic figure. I just think the likeness could be improved. That's what it comes to. I think it poses well. I think the hair's great. The sculpts are great. Posability's great. Tons of details. Just don't like the likeness. I mean, that's basically what it is. Which is pretty important, I'm just saying. But before we get out of here, let's get into our random comment shout-out. So for this comment, it's going to go to John Doe-KY8UT, who says, please review the new Ultimate Edition Styles. Cody and Taker would love your insights on those figs. Those figures are what I'm trying to track down, man. I don't know when I'll get those reviews up. I don't own them. I haven't gotten them, so that's the reason I haven't reviewed those. But as soon as I get them, I promise you we will review them back to back to back. Or if I can only find Cody, I'll review Cody at that time, review AJ later. Those three, I promise you, we will absolutely review. Those three are probably, I mean, out of the figures that are out right now, those are the three most anticipated. As far as waiting on figures, it's going to be the heel John Cena Ultimate Edition, and I really want to take a look at the new Monday Night War set with Steve Blackman and Sid Vicious, but I've only found 3 of the figures. I gotta find China. I don't want to review 3/4 of the set, so I want to wait until we can get them all in hand, and I know it's not the biggest deal, but I'd really like to have those complete before we dive in there, because I'm really excited for Steve Blackman and Sid Vicious, so it's tough, but nonetheless, man, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys did enjoy. I'm getting the hell out. I appreciate you guys so very much. I hate there was no photography here, but kind of a timing issue, but I appreciate you. I'm getting out. I'll see you guys next time. Have a blessed one. I'll catch you guys later.